Welcome, everybody. Rick DiClemente here with Astrology Unplugged. Nice to have you here in the midst of Hawaii. I couldn't be outdone by the San Francisco Bay and all the fake backgrounds. So we'll try this for a while. I feel a little bit of breeze coming. I'm going to stop it already and get the air conditioner correct. Hold right on. Speaking of hot temperatures, I was in Las Vegas once. My God, this was 20 years ago. And it was 126. And I got out of the car to take my suitcase from the back seat, put it in the trunk. I couldn't do it. I got out of the car, went, jump back in the car. So it's 126 many places. Anyhow, welcome aboard tonight. I've been directed to talk to you about the 12th harmonic. I've talked about it before, and I'm glad Kathy's with us because she wants to get up to speed on it. I'm going to tell you a lot about where it comes from and how I use it, and I do use it rather differently. I'm finding the harmonics are just extremely important. I don't like to get too technical on this show because I know a lot of you are beginners, but some people are more advanced, and I just got to do it. And harmonics are about as advanced as you can get. And I'm going to tell you why I use them, how I use them, and they're just magical, and they've changed me completely as an astrologer. I would say 90 years ago, a Brit named John Addey, Addey, invented them, or founded them. What a harmonic is you take a number and you multiply the positions of the planets on the zodiac, and you get a bigger number, and then you put it back on the zodiac. So you're looking at this natal chart through a different lens, through the lens of 6. You're looking at the chart through the lens of 3. And all numbers have meanings, and they really do. And this proves it to you. And the reason I'm so high on number 12 is because 12 is the Pisces number. And it seems to me to have a lot to do with past lives. And I've proven it to myself very clearly. So, there are really good books out that you can read that are studies of the numbers, what the numbers 1 through 12 mean. And they really, really help you understand how astrology works. Of course, the natal chart's a number 1. It's the number 1 harmonic. Multiply everything times number 1. So if I got a planet at 6 degrees of Aries, that's the 6th degree of the zodiac. It stays at 6. If I do the second harmonic, for instance, if I do the second harmonic, we take my planet, which is at 6 degrees. This is 0 through 30. This is 30 through 60. This is 60 through 90, etc. Goes from 0 all the way to 360. That's the degree of the zodiac that sign contains. So Capricorn goes from 240 to 270. No, that's not right. 270 from 270 to 300. This is 270 to 300. Okay, so each degree has its own number. That's the whole point. So when you do the second harmonic, you multiply the position of your planet by that number, and you put it back on the circle. In the old days, I picked this up 40 years ago. In the old days, I'd do that by hand. And then, for whatever reason, Solar Fire and other software programs, they not only put the planet where it belongs, and Lillian with the green eyes. Yeah. But how do I say this to you? There are people doing harmonics now, and they're doing it completely different than I do it. And it's better off said that I do it completely different how they do it, because they do it the normal way. Now, I don't know what happened to me about 40 years ago when I was reading John Addy's book. I learned to do it this way, where not only did a planet move to a different degree of the zodiac, but there was a new midheaven, there were new house cusps. And I learned, I don't know how, I learned that you could read Venus in the third house means something. Venus in the third house being hit by a transit means something. And I'm being told by all these very advanced harmonics people that you can't do that. That you can find the new degree of the planet and that's it. And I said, well, I just beg to differ with it because I've just seen nothing but proof. And they tell me I'm nuts, it doesn't work. And I'm telling them they're nuts because it does work. So what I have found with harmonics, let me go around the circle and then I think you'll understand better. I don't know why it is, but I have found that the harmonics work with the even numbers. And they really don't work with the odd numbers. A lot of people that I've seen in writing have said that the ninth harmonic is the main harmonic of all. I don't agree with them. When I say I don't agree, it's not intellectual. I just do them and it doesn't work. Maybe when they do them, it does work. That's all. That's all I'm trying to say. So the ninth harmonic, they say that since it, let's make sure everybody's muted. There we go. Okay. The ninth harmonic, representing Sagittarius in philosophy, they say is the main harmonic. Well, I really have just proven that for myself. There's no doubt in my mind 12 is the main harmonic. I work mainly with 12 and 6. What do you do, Lillian? Boy, she just loves to look at me with those green eyes. I just love her being there. Okay. So the second harmonic is like the second house, like the second sign. Third harmonic is like the third house. It's like the third sign, etc., etc. So I hardly ever use the second harmonic because it's about money and values. I've never really seen it do anything. Third harmonic, I use it very seldom, but the only time I've ever seen it work for me, it should be talking about the brain, the thought patterns, the way you think, etc. But what I found about the third harmonic is very good, telling me about if and what somebody's going to write a book about. The third harmonic, number 3, is about writing books, writing novels. And I've found good success with people's third harmonics, telling me when and if they're going to write a book. And I've had real good luck telling them what the subject would be about, what the essence of the book would be about. I've had good luck with it. Fourth harmonic, I don't use it much. I use it little, being like Cancer, number 4. I only look at the fourth harmonic. I tell you, I get most of my truths from the even numbered harmonics. This is after many years of experimenting. The fourth harmonic I use when somebody I feel is really having trouble emotionally, and I don't know why. Sometimes the fourth harmonic will just show me an emotional mess, and I don't know where it's coming from. And sometimes these harmonics help me get another way of looking at things. The harmonics are like the eye doctor, and the eye doctor is going clear here or clear there. Clear here, clear there. That's what they're like. They're derivatives of the birth chart. And the fourth harmonic is like zooming in on somebody's emotions. The fifth harmonic is like zooming in on their creativity. The sixth harmonic is like their Virgo part, zooming in on their work. So it helps me to see certain parts. Now, when I get to 12, everything changed. Dramatic results. So sometimes I look at the fifth harmonic, and the fifth harmonic can be really exciting because it shows you these marvelous artists, songsters, singers, musicians, people on Broadway. The fifth harmonic shows tremendous talent expressing yourself. It's the Leo harmonic. I've seen some incredible things in the fifth harmonic, and I've seen transits come by and hit these harmonics, and things happen. These other people tell me that it doesn't work, that you can't put it on the chart, put houses on it, and put midheavens and all that. And I'm telling you, it does work because I've looked at it. So we stand at an impasse. The fifth harmonic's been very telling. The sixth harmonic is my second favorite. I use number 12 first, and I use number 6 second. 6 is the Virgo harmonic. I call it the destiny harmonic, and it tells me pretty clearly what you're here to do, what your job is, what you're here to do, what your talent is. It's almost like an aptitude test. Very intriguing. And a lot of times when I see people stuck, I look at the natal chart, and I used to just stop there. And if there's nothing going on in the natal chart, I flip over to the sixth harmonic, and boom, there I see it. Why they're not moving forward. I see the symbol of what's stopping them. Why don't they understand where they need to go? What's blocking them from actually moving? So I use the sixth harmonic a lot. It works a good deal at a time. The seventh harmonic, I don't use it very much. Again, it's an odd number. It's about people. It's like Libra. It's like the seventh sign. It's about you performing in public. I don't find much use in it. I've never found it to be that accurate. When things are heavy duty, I look at the eighth harmonic. Boom, Scorpio's house. I see a lot of stuff at the eighth harmonic, and I'm not blind. I'm seeing stuff that's there. It's talk about power, misuse of power, abuse of power, sexual weirdness, sexual proclivities. The eighth harmonic is heavy duty. When I've seen like Charles Manson's chart, or things that you think would be really intriguing, look at the eighth harmonic and look at it like this, because it'll scare you. I'm not kidding you. The ninth harmonic, the one everybody talks so much about being such a big deal, I don't see much there. Since it's colleges and writing books on a larger level and broadcasting across the internet, ninth house stuff, Sagittarian stuff, I sometimes use the ninth harmonic to see travel or to see communicating on a large level. But I don't see, once again, I don't know why. I don't see much happening with the odd numbered charts. 10th harmonic. I use the 10th harmonic now and then. It's my Humpty Dumpty chart. It's the chart, since it's the Capricorn, number 10, it's the chart that tells me, are you on top of the wall or have you fallen off the wall? But the 10th harmonic tells me if you're going to fall publicly and you're going to splat on the ground, it's your public relation, it's your public appearance, your public self. So I've had good results with 10. 11, don't get very much on. I see some things about your friends, and what is the 11th? Friends and hopes and wishes and organizations. I see some things that are related, but not usually. So then I get to the 12th, boom, change everything. So I got into this stuff and I made this stupid mistake. Raise your hand if you're like me. Don't ever lend a book to somebody. Don't ever lend a book to anybody, to God or Jesus, nobody. You ain't going to get it back. So I lent my harmonic book to somebody 30-some years ago, and I never saw it again, of course. So I went out and I purchased it again to reread this John Addy book, because I was sure that when I read it, I didn't make this up. Somehow I learned to put, where's the new ascendant? Where's the fifth house? where's the sixth house? And somehow back then, when I saw the whole new chart, I saw transits coming into this house, transits going into that house, and that's how I looked at it, like a normal chart. I know for a fact that it works just like a normal chart. Matter of fact, this is really weird. Your 12th harmonic chart is working right now at the same time that your normal chart is. They're both working. This is what I've discovered. Now I'm telling you, I had to go real far out on Intuition Island to find out this stuff. But I have a lot of faith in what I've observed and what I've dialogued this with my clients, what I see, etc. And I'm very certain of myself. You can't take away my 12th harmonic. No. That's just how it is. So about 8 years ago, I told Liza, why are people's charts the way they are? We're real good at telling what the person's chart is like. We can suggest some remedies. But why are there 9 kids in the family? 8 of them are normal and 1's weird. Why? Well, I tell you what, I started to look and research, and my research took me to the 12th harmonic, and I did the 12th harmonic for 8 of those kids, and it wasn't bad. And I got to the 9th kid, boom, bingo. The 12th harmonic tells you why your natal chart is the way it is. Now I can show you examples, and it's not going to mean much to you because it just looks like some weird chart, but you have to take my word for it. The chart bespeaks of itself. It speaks of itself clearly. So I made the mistake early on of starting to call it the past life chart. Look at her, Lillian with the green eyes. Green-eyed lady. I love that song, and Liza makes me take it off every time it's on because she hates it so much. And I just love Green-eyed lady. That guy wrote that song when he was 16. Green-eyed lady, lovely lady. Anyhow, I'll come back to normal. So I'll show you some charts in a little while, and you'll see what I mean. I started to look at the 12th house, and even today I keep making the mistake of calling it the past life chart. Well, what I have learned, my dear friends, listeners of 6 years of the Astrology Unplugged, episode 286, what I have learned is your problems in this life are not from your parents. Your problems in this life are not from mom and dad and brother and family crapping on you and all that stuff. My opinion. Your problems come from the past life. From not just one, but the whole series of past lives. Now, this I have proven to myself, and it really helps me because there's nothing worse than playing in the doo-doo pile with somebody about blaming their parents or blaming my parents or blaming them, and hatred here and revenge there. And it's just terrible stuff. You can understand. So what I learned is the old stories, like the books that our friend Stephen Poplin writes, our friend the regressive hypnotist writes. You are sitting with your angels right before you're born. Matter of fact, Stephen Poplin took me through a regressed hypnosis session. This was quite a while ago. That's how I met him, 20 years ago. He took me through a session about 4 years ago. And he's really, really good at guiding you through a regressive hypnosis. He's just really talented at doing this. Smart. He knows how to help you, but not get in the way. So I'm going through this regressive hypnotic state, and Stephen takes me next to a waterfall. And I'm sitting there with him, next to this tremendous waterfall, and he's asking me, okay, this is 1952. Do you want to take another life? Nah, I don't take that life. Do you want to take another life? No. Say, yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. No, I don't. Boom, he pushed me. He pushed me, son of a. He pushed me into this tremendous Niagara Falls. Boom, I'm upside down inside my mother. That quick. I'm an infant. I'm a fetus. It's 1952, and it's 1951, and I'm upside down inside my mother's belly, womb. Stunned me. Okay, so I learned from that experience, et cetera, and I learned this and that. But I've learned since then that what really happens is this. Your 12th harmonic has a lot to do with your perception of God, how you see God, what God is, and how you think he sees you. I'm going to call him he. Go ahead and sue me. I don't care. I'm just going to call him he because I'm a he, and that's the way it is. So, I know Lillian didn't like that remark. That's a, where does she have the eyes? I bet you she's a Scorpio. Yeah. You don't know. Huh? You're muted. Do you know her birthday?
May 17th.
She's a Taurus? Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she's got some Scorpio in her.
Mm-hmm. She certainly does.
She's got those eyes anyhow. So, your spirit guide, your guardian angel, I don't know what you call them. They sit with you and they review your past lives. And that's what the 12th harmonic is. It is what I renamed it. It's the spiritual transcript. Bless your soul. It's the spiritual transcript. It's symbolic of all your past lives. So let me pull my chart out just to show you an example. All right. Boy, it's about 110 degrees here already. All right. So I have the computer programmed. The computer just that quickly did for me the 4th harmonic, the 6th harmonic, the 8th harmonic, the 10th harmonic, and the 12th. 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Because that's what I use, and I programmed the computer to do that for me for anybody I want. So in my 12th harmonic, which I'll put on the screen for you. All right, here's my 12th harmonic chart. What I claim and what I've discovered is that this chart is representative of all my past lives and my general attitude towards spirit. Now, what I've learned since, and I've done really a lot of heavy work the past 2-3 years, this chart has a lot to do with how you see God. Are you going closer to God? Are you going farther away from God? What? But what I've learned from this chart is the rest of life is BS. The rest of life is a bunch of junk. The only thing that matters is, are you going back to God or not? Because in essence, that's really what matters. So when you look at this chart, look at this chart of the teacher. 1, 2, 3, 4 planets in the 9th house in Gemini, the teacher, 3 planets in Sagittarius. I got 7 planets involved in being the teacher, being the speaker, being the leader, being the priestess, whatever it's called. I don't know. 7 planets, and the T-square goes over to Venus in Pisces. So all these planets are pouring tremendous power into Venus and Pisces. And that's all about giving to people, serving people, loving people, trying to give them information to help them spiritually. Okay. Now, what's hard to figure out, yeah, here's the sun in Leo, and it's in the 10th house. I'm not really sure, but I can tell you the 12th harmonic is really hard to interpret. Don't touch it if you can't deal with it. I mean, many times I open it up and I close it right back down. It's just too hard and I close it down. I don't force myself. But this chart is overwhelming to me. And then I got stuck, and I'm still stuck on why are these 7 planets sending themselves through Saturn in Virgo in the 12th house? That's about being a martyr, about dying on the cross with Jesus, being raised Catholic, all that stuff. So what the other people doing harmonics now tell me is you can't put the planets in a house. That when a transit goes over, it has no reality to it. But I've seen tons of things happen when planets hit here, when planets hit here, when planets hit here. So they're wrong. These things work like a regular chart. So that's an example of a 12th harmonic chart. So I started to realize that this is not the past life chart. This is the spiritual transcript. This is the chart you sit with your elders to review your past life and to review what you've done right and wrong so you can correct your next life. Well, that's a bunch of BS too that I've discovered. And by the way, I've discovered all this since Eris has been discovered, which is interesting, because it all mixes together. So what I found out recently through study is all of us are wrong. Maybe all of us. It's a big statement. Most of us, let's say. We're all taking lifetimes we didn't need to. Because the only reason you take a new lifetime is because you perceive something is wrong. You perceive God is looking down his nose at you. You perceive that your chances of getting in the pearly gates are getting slimmer and slimmer unless you take another lifetime and you work on certain things and you pass them and fix them, and then you go on. Well, I learned that there is nothing wrong. There never was anything wrong, but we thought there was something wrong. That's the problem. That's what the 12th harmonic really shows you, is what you think God is judging you as. That's what I've discovered. You think God is upset with you because of all the dogma you've received and all the judging you've received and all the put down you've heard of all your life. And so the advantage of doing a 12th harmonic is it shows me why you took this lifetime. So when I'm doing a reading, I go back and forth, 12th harmonic birth chart, 12th harmonic birth chart, 12th harmonic birth chart, and it shows me why your birth chart is that way. If you've got Pluto on the 7th house cusp, well, why'd you put it there? Go to the 12th harmonic, you'll see why. So you'll see the birth chart is always a chart that you constructed, because there are no accidents, there are no coincidences. You had to be born at that time so that you would learn those lessons. And all your parents did is play a role. They're just playing a role. It's that simple. So obviously in my 12th harmonic, I decided that if I come back and fix these certain things by teaching more, by giving more to the church, by helping more, etc., then I will fix my problems and the pearly gates will stay open to me. So I'm going to do everybody's 12th harmonic here tonight just to show you how it works. But I want to talk about a few more things first. Okay. So the 12th harmonic tells us the 12th harmonic tells us what you thought about yourself that you projected on the God, and you convinced yourself. And a lot of people talk about it in the spirit world. You hear this phrase, the script is already written. What the hell does that mean? The script is already written. That's exactly what this is about. The 12th harmonic talks about the myth that you think is something wrong with you. And if you come back and take this life again and put your sun next to Saturn and Virgo, and you're going to come back and make it hard on yourself and whip yourself with a self-flagellating rope, that if you pass that test, then you won't have to come back again because you've done your mea culpa. You know, I was looking tonight and I looked back to show number 1. This is show 286. Show number 1 was about the age of mea culpa is over. I'm afraid to go watch it. Oh, boy. So to reiterate, you think something's wrong with you because you've been programmed to. You think that God is judging you, which he isn't, but you're so sure of it because your daddy and your mommy judged you. And you're afraid. You project everything on the daddy and mommy onto God. And that's about 90% of the reason why. And what I found out is we're all just fine the way we are, which is the whole message of love your enemy or love people the way they are. They're fine the way they are. Therefore, you didn't have to take a lifetime. Therefore, you don't have to take another one. That's my conclusion now. That's where I'm at now. So I can't get Marcia to sit still. So I'm going to put Marcia's chart on the screen. Maybe I'll get her to calm down. And I'm going to take a look at Marcia's birth chart. Is that okay? Okay. Let me turn this off for a second. We come back. Okay, now we see Marcia's chart and Marcia's 12th harmonic. So when we go into Marcia's chart, which is only 2 days different than me, so let's see what I'm looking for in Marcia's chart is I'm looking for what's unusual, okay? Because they're all, when you see thousands of charts, you see similar patterns over and over, not unusual. So I'm looking for weird things. What's unusual? Why did she put 3 planets together? This is her birth chart. Why did she put 3 planets together? Mars, Neptune, Saturn. I'm born 2 days after her, and she's got a twin. Okay, why did she put the sun opposite Uranus? That's very powerful. Sun opposite Uranus. Why'd you do that? I don't know. So I don't try to figure it out. And I don't try to get the exacting answer from the client either. I go to the 12th harmonic. I go back and forth. And pretty soon I start talking about the 12th harmonic and I start to see themes in it. And the client goes, oh, the client knows when you're hitting on something, when you're hitting on some theme that makes sense to them in their gut. So we go to her 12th harmonic, which is this chart. Okay, this is the chart of everything you just saw, multiplied by 12, put back on the circle. It's very confusing, but that's exactly right. It's exactly what it is. She gets a new ascendant. She gets a new midheaven. All the houses are the same. All the houses are the same as the ascendant. 1551, 1551, 1551. Too complicated to explain. Okay. So we see that Marcia, through her many lifetimes, you can usually tell right away whether somebody's really spiritually accomplished or not, because the chart will show symbols of that, or else it won't. So you can see those symbols. Okay, you can see that Marcia has 1, 2, 3, 4 planets in Gemini, similar to my chart. But mine were up here and down there. She's got 4 here and 2 over there. Okay, what does this mean? This means that Marcia, for a long time, for many lifetimes, had a lot of information. She had a lot of knowledge about lots of different things. Jack of all trades. Can do this, look into this, look into that, look into that. Okay. She had these planets opposite the powerhouses, Pluto and Neptune. Pluto and Neptune in Sag is a person who's got tremendous interest in spirit, in higher consciousness, in greater growth. We don't understand why, but we know she's got that. And what does she do about it? What does she do? Same as my chart. She's got 6 planets, 2, 6, all T² to Saturn in Virgo. All going to Saturn in Virgo, which means something's wrong here with this lifetime, Marcia, and you're going to take a new lifetime. And in the new lifetime, you're going to be more disciplined. You're going to become more disciplined. You're going to cross the T's. You're going to dot the I's, and you're going to dot the small J. Because nobody ever dots a small J. What are you doing right now? What have you been studying your butt off for 3 years now? Homeopathy.
Yeah.
And
I got the small J.
Yeah. And if homeopathy is not Saturn in Virgo, then I don't know what is.
Yeah.
Get this thing, take the 2 little things of this, get that right there, study this thing, get the 4 those. You know, it's just so picky, it's just so particular. Saturn in Virgo.
That's a homeopathic medicine.
Oh my God, that's just one. Okay, but you see that you felt when you took this lifetime, it's probably, this is my opinion. You felt when you took this lifetime in 1950, whatever, that you were not disciplined enough, that you didn't work hard enough, that you were too scattered. All these Gemini energies you have, you were just too scattered with the Gemini Sag energies. They weren't focused. They weren't put the reins on them, constricted. They weren't stopped and harnessed. And this is where it comes from. Now, I don't just force this down the client's throat. I talk about it. And then the client goes, oh, well, no wonder. And then I ask the next probable question. Was there somebody in your life that was a real pain in the ass drill sergeant that sat on your shoulder? You did this wrong. You did that wrong. You did this wrong. Did that wrong. Was there somebody like that? And if they say, yeah, I don't go off into who it was, I see that that person has agreed to play the role so that she will learn the lesson. And I go back and forth between the 12th harmonic and the natal chart, and I end up finding out that the 12th harmonic shows me why the birth chart is the way it is. Why did you put Sun opposite Uranus? As a Capricorn? Capricorn doesn't want Uranus opposite Saturn. The most off-the-wall planet there is, opposite the most down-to-earth sign that there is. You put it opposite yourself because you're way ahead of your time. You said, I did all this work. I'm thinking a new lifetime. I'm not going to lose all the progress I made. I'm going to stay ahead of myself. And she's still ahead of herself. All right. So we go back to the 12th harmonic. You just go back and forth. It's just incredible to watch. I can't wait to do John's. Okay. There's a 12th harmonic. And we see another T² is going to Uranus and Leo. Uranus in Leo. Where did you work for 30 years in New York City, Marcia?
Mm.
Broadway. On Broadway. Putting on plays, different roles. What else did you do? Saturn in Virgo. Saturn in Virgo. The hands. You learn massage. So you supplemented your income by rub-a-dubbing on people's sore muscles in the theater. You can see the clarity of this. I don't even need to go very far, but you can see that the reason you did all these things, and this is what's getting interesting now, because we're in the end times, people. I don't know what that means, but we're in the end times. That does not necessarily mean we're going to just destroy ourselves. It might be the end of some goddamn chapter that should have been over a long time ago. Could be that. I don't know. When you follow your intuition, you get the answers. So, what we're going to see with Marcia around now, because the end times are fastly approaching, around now, around the last 3 years, around the next couple of years, what Marcia should be learning. You tell me if this is right or wrong. What you should be learning now is there's nothing wrong. That you didn't have to work your butt off to fix stuff. That you were already fine the way you are. It's good to be learning this stuff and you enjoy learning this stuff, but you didn't have to come back and get a whole 7th Fleet of the Navy to work on you to fix all your problems because you really weren't that messed up. You're beautiful the way you are. That's what you find out. So we see in the past life that you brought forward, you wanted to continue your knowledge, you wanted to continue being really creative, doing many, many different types of things. You wanted to do the physical work, both with homeopathy and with physical massage, etc. That just shows, just glimpsing at these charts. Now, what's fascinating, and I could show you, but I'm not going to bother. You'll see when transits hit that 12th harmonic is when things happened. When that Saturn got hit, what do you think happened when Saturn hit that? I am going to show you. I'm a liar. Okay, there's the 12th harmonic. What do you think happened? These people tell me that you cannot do transits with these charts. Well, what do you think happened when transiting Saturn went to 22 Virgo? What do you think happened? Let's put the two charts together and I'll show you. You'll sit there with your mouth open because this is how it works. All right. All right. All right, let's go. Let's go to bi-wheel. Let's stop the sharing and reshare it so you can see it. Okay, now what you're looking at now is her 12th harmonic with the planets right now, as they are right now. So we're going to go back in time. Saturn is here. We're going to go back in time. Well, we don't want her birth chart. No, I'm sorry. We want her. Oh, we want the 12th harmonic with the animate the bi-wheel. Okay, there you go. All right, now let's go back in time. Now, where's the T-square? She's got the T-square. Here's the Saturn in Virgo. Okay, do you see we're talking about it now because the sun is shining on it?
Mm-hmm.
See, let's go back in time and let's take Saturn back. Where the hell is Saturn? Okay, we're going to take Saturn from Aquarius back to Virgo. Okay, it's going to be about 11 years. I'm going to take Saturn back to see when transiting Saturn, right there, that's almost exact. when transiting Saturn went over the Saturn in the 12th harmonic was in 2009. So what happened in 2009? We're talking about 13 years ago. We're talking about with the homeopathy or with the massage. 2009, the Saturn hit the Saturn. Something pressured you to do something realistic, a realistic change for realistic purposes. Does that make any sense? What did you find? You are muted.
I stopped massage,
You stop massage.
started studying homeopathy. Mhm.
You see, and I'm not shocked at all. And these people are telling me you can't do that. That the transits to that chart don't work. There,
Mhm.
of course they do.
Mhm.
Because it came from deep in your soul, came from deep somewhere in the past life. It all fit together.
Mhm.
This is the answer. Rub-a-dub is not the answer. This is the answer,
Mhm.
right?
I let my license go and
Yeah.
I didn't really care about it anymore.
See, it can help an astrologer do so much. It is unbelievable being me sometimes. And I'm not bragging. I'm just saying it's unbelievable to see what I can see and no one else can see it.
Mhm.
I can't say it any other way. God love you. Okay, so you can see I could go on and on about all the different transits you've had. Let's stop the recording. Let's get John's chart up here. And now we're going to work with John's chart. Okay, let's get you on the screen. John is a very unusual character because he's a Gemini with lots of Gemini, as you see 5 planets there, and a lot of Scorpio because of the moon in Scorpio, and mainly because Pluto is so strong there. This is like seeing through boards. Gemini is really curious, looking at everything. That's Gemini. Scorpio is like looking through stuff. Okay, he's got them both. Why? Why does this guy have such scattered interest like Marcia does in all these different things, but also very non-Geminian, the Scorpio looking through stuff? What's he looking through? Why? These are very good questions to ask yourself during the reading because you get down to different layers of the person. Okay, why is the moon out here by itself in Scorpio? And why is this massive T-square, which is Eris opposite Neptune, T-squared to Jupiter and Gemini? Jupiter and Gemini. You know what Jupiter and Gemini means? Jupiter next to Mercury. Jupiter and Gemini means, I always use my same analogy. It means if I'm coming to pick up John in the van and we're going to go for a long trip, John doesn't care what the hell we do as long as he takes a bunch of information with him. Then it'll be okay. But some people take food, some people take medicine. John's got to take encyclopedias with him or the internet with him. He's just got to be armed with that because that's how his chart just said. We want to know why. Where did that come from your spiritual transcript? Okay. Follow me, John?
I follow you.
Okay. Now we go look at the 12th harmonic. There's the natal. Here's the 12th harmonic. This is the past life spiritual transcript. What do you see right on the ascendant? Uranus and Aries. Give me that machete. Give me 5 of those machetes. Give me real sharp machetes because I'm going to knock the damn weeds down. We're going looking. Okay? That's not Gemini. Gemini gently jumps over the fence. Oh, what's happening? He. Oh, look what's over here. Oh, look what's over here. Not Uranus and Aries, it's gonna tear the damn weeds down. We're going heavy duty exploring. Okay, why in the world would he have this great big intense T-square going through Saturn in Taurus? I mean, the Gemini planet, this is clearly your answer to all the Gemini being too flitting about, not getting anywhere, just getting too scattered. Saturn and Taurus, I'm coming into this lifetime, I'm getting focused. Or you can say in the past life that he was too focused, and in this lifetime, he's becoming unfocused. You see, but it's the whole theme of that spectrum: focused, spread out, focused, spread out. That theme is the issue in his chart. We don't know. Sometimes harmonics are hard to tell because you don't know if the chicken came or the egg came first. Okay, here's a major symbol of somebody with Aquarius, Jupiter, Neptune. This is somebody who's very big time into spiritual growth for many lifetimes. This is a very major symbol. Okay, he's got Venus next to Mercury, which means he's out there meeting people, shaking hands with people, getting along with people, exploring people, etc. He's got a really nice chart. But the main thing about this chart is that Saturn is very concentrated in Taurus. Now, back in the birth chart, I take my glasses off and I wonder why I can't see. I don't know why I do that. Okay, he's Saturn and Taurus. This is the opposite. This is spread, thin all over the place, try everything. Pluto's really focused. That Pluto's focused from that Saturn and Taurus. So you see both themes are here. Both themes are here. So we see that the one happened before this one, or so it seemed, because remember, I told you, your 12th harmonic is going on now. It's the same time as your birth chart is. They're both living at the same time. So whatever it is, what this means is, John's, and you get better at this after a while when you do this, John's chart has learned that I really like getting all this information, but it will spread me too thin. So I have to concentrate. And if I get real concentrated, things get a lot better. But if I get too concentrated, I get real bored and I got to go get spread again. So that's the whole theme of his chart. A typical Gemini is spread and don't worry about it. I don't want to go deep. You guys go deep. I'm not going deep. I'm going across the surface. You guys go deep. I don't want to go deep. John's chart's not. It's both. Both have to be there to make him happy. Comments?
I agree.
Okay, you agree. In your words, in your life experience, how does this ring true for you?
In my life experience, in my younger years, I was not very curious, not very studious, not a great student. But at a certain point, I became so curious. I was on a bus with somebody, and the lady said, she was asking me questions, and I kept saying, I don't know. She said, you know something, you're not curious. That was like a knife in my heart. And I get serious.
Now, what I want to know, we're going to do this backward. I want the date that she stuck the knife in your heart.
I was in high school, maybe.
Okay, give me an approximation.
Approximately 1959, 1960.
Okay, let's go New Year's Day, 1960. Okay?
Before that, yeah.
I remember that night. I was up all night. I was so excited because it's my birthday. But I was so excited. I was 7 years old. And both numbers changed. The 9 changed to the 0 and the 5 changed to a 6. I thought that was so exciting. I'll never forget that. That's crazy. Okay, we're going to go back to around January 1st of 60, around there. Because the slow moving planets are the ones that cause this, and they'll be moving slow enough to see. Something came out of nowhere that caused this. This wasn't just happenstance. So we go to your chart, we get your 12th harmonic chart, okay? We're going to take your 12th harmonic chart, we're going to put the planets on the outside, and we're going to go to approximately 1/160. Right? Boom. Okay. Let's look at the big planets. Pluto was on your moon. You were looking for something on Mercury, actually. Pluto was on your moon. Huh?
We can't see the bi-wheel.
Thank you. Now you know why I got a monitor. Okay, thank you, Erica. Okay, we're looking for Uranus usually. Chiron was sneaking up on these two, but it's not very critical. Eris was sitting on Uranus. Eris is the kind of planet that will knock you on your ass. And it will happen within 1 minute. Somebody said one thing and your whole damn life explodes. It just changes dramatically. So it seems to me like Eris being on that Uranus, probably getting hit by another planet, such as Mars at this, or Saturn. See, Saturn's hitting it at the same time. So you get two at once. So your natal Uranus in Aries is the one I told you about. Give me a bunch of machetes. I'm going out in the woods. And you just told me that you weren't that interested. I went to college and I was like this. And I got out of college and I wanted to study history. From then on, I just came alive with history. It wasn't there when I was in college, similar to you. So when we look at my purposes, hi, Claudia. When we look at my purposes, what your 12th harmonic is saying to me is, like I tell everybody, if you listen to just your sun sign, you're going to be in somewhat of trouble because your sun sign will deceive you. It's very, your sun sign is ego-centered. It thinks that it has the answers. And I told you so many times, your answer to your zodiac is opposite you. So your answers are Sagittarian. Claudia's answers are Aquarian. Marcia's answers are Cancer. You go opposite the zodiac and you cultivate that part of you. So what your charts are saying is in the past life, you were just really too concentrated. And in the spring, in the beginning of 1960, along came Eris and just went boom, blew your chart apart. And your Uranus just went nuts. And I would tell you, it probably took you years to calm down from that. Mentally. Because that's how big that is. But that's wonderful that you were there to ride it. But that is the overreaching theme that goes on between the astrologer, the past life, and the current life. Does that make sense?
It does. And actually, I got even more curious maybe 6 years later, and I decided to get a PhD in philosophy. I mean, I was so curious.
Okay, let's take a look at that. My God, your chart is so much that way. Let's take you forward to 1966, right? Here's 1966. So you see Eris is still in that vicinity. Jupiter's just crossed over your sun. I'm looking for Mercury to get hit. Mars was on Mercury, but that's not enough to do it. It's not enough to do. Usually the Mercury is the planet that gets real excited within the Gemini's structure. I don't know what it was. I'd have to spend a lot of time digging. But you can see how the 12th harmonic. Now, what happens with me now is this. I found out that a lot of people think the problems with their mom and dad. And what I found out, a lot of the problems people have is really shackles around their ankles from the past life. You can't move forward because of some rule that you used to believe, some rule that you were taught, etc. And I showed you a week or two ago where a client of mine, I showed you Neptune was sitting on Saturn the night that I looked at her. I showed you how the Saturn in her 12th harmonic were the shackles around her ankle, and Neptune was on that planet exactly the night we looked at it. And Neptune on Saturn is symbolic of acid being poured or dissolving of the restriction. So it's really fascinating that the 12th harmonic, a lot of times people come to me and I will see the 12th harmonic lose its grip on the person and it will lose its shackles, and I'll put the 12th harmonic to bed. I won't need to look at it again.
Okay, can I ask a question?
Sure.
What about when I was 57, say in November?
Well, 57, you had a second Saturn return.
Okay, this was even bigger than what happened before.
Okay, you told me about that. Let's take a look at that. In your birth chart, let's take a look at your birth chart first. In your birth chart, age 57 would be 70. Let's see, 57, 90, 99.
November 1999.
Okay, this is your Saturn return. And as you can tell, the Saturn's not quite there yet. You know, the Saturn usually returns around age 58. So your Saturn has gone all the way around and it's right up here. So what happened to you was not Saturnian. It was something else. Now, let's take a look and see if it was, in fact, due to the 12th harmonic. So we take this chart, and there's the 12th harmonic, and we look at November 15th, 99. Okay, this is the planets on your 12th harmonic for 1999. Saturn is approaching Pluto. Uranus has just passed over your Mercury. Neptune, they're both these heavyweights are approaching that Mercury. You had a cosmic experience, right?
Yep.
Pluto was sextile to this. Two planets are on it. So I'm not sure exactly. The Saturn return was closer. I think it was the natal chart. Okay. There is, that's the wrong chart. Okay, this is 11/10/99. Okay, this is your past life chart being hit. Okay. Without a doubt, it was Neptune getting really close to that Mercury, Neptune being on the Venus, because the experience you had to do with cosmic consciousness. Neptune is ripping the walls down. The old walls that you're used to just evaporate and you seeing through them. That would describe your experience. What happened?
Well, that was a God vision.
That's exactly what Neptune does to Mercury. And that would have gone on for at least another year, maybe two. Similar visions, similar changes. See, the Mercury is really sensitive for Gemini people and Virgos when it gets hit because it's your ruling planet. Okay, very intriguing. I want to take a moment and work with Linda's chart because I never get to work with Linda's chart. Is that okay?
Yes, okay, it's fine.
Okay, hold on, everybody. Okay, here we go again. Linda's chart. Okay, so we see in Linda's chart, she's a Libra, and the sun is. This is kind of common that people born at that age. I've seen a lot of these folks with their sun between Saturn and Neptune, which is a really unusual combination. And I remember Saturn and Neptune giving me fits through the years, trying to translate what it means because it's such opposing energies. And I've seen many people with the sun right between them. Here's the sun with 4 degrees on one side, 8 degrees on the other. So your sun is pretty close to the midpoint. We see the Venus Mars is very important. You put Venus and Mars right on the midheaven. That's why'd you do that? Venus, your ruling planet. Why put Venus and Mars there? And why'd you put a T-square to Uranus while you got the moon rising? Why put a T-square to Uranus while you got the moon rising in Scorpio? Some very interesting angles. Why do you have a bucket pattern? The whole chart is wild with a bucket pattern to Jupiter Eris. Mine are both at 6 degrees. Yours are at 7 and 8. So here you are, this kind of conservative person that's not conservative. And this Libra woman who's really interested in basketball, when Libra women aren't interested in basketball, but with Jupiter they are. So why is your Jupiter Eris so big in this chart? This is kind of an energy of nothing stopping me in this lifetime. Period. Nothing's going to stop me. Okay. So the 12th harmonic says, well, are we recording? Yes, we are.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Here's the 12th harmonic. Okay. Here's the 12th harmonic. The spiritual transcript, we see Pluto is very prominent, rising in the chart. Uranus is at the point of a T-square at the top of the chart. So she's always been way ahead of her time. We see these lighthearted Gemini planets. They're going to calm things down a little bit. We see a T-square to Venus, Mercury, another T-square to the moon in Aquarius. Okay, so the chart doesn't look out of balance to me. It looks pretty balanced, actually. When you look and you see the chart, it's pretty spread out. Everything's pretty evenly spread out. That's a very good sign. You don't always see that. That's a good sign of somebody who, it takes a lot to knock her off her center. When she gets knocked off, she can be, but she comes back to equilibrium rather easily compared to most people. So that's a nice symbol to have. But I would have to say, the number one thing I see in this chart, this is a symbol, if you study Arroyo, this is a symbol, Saturn-Pluto across the ascendant. This is a very non-Libran symbol, because Libras are not people that carry the weight of the world on their shoulders, but she is. Libras do not carry anybody's weight on their shoulder, perhaps their partner, and that's it. They're just not known for that. This is somebody carrying the weight of the world on their shoulders. Why? Why are you doing that? I don't know. Is it because you have such radical vision for the world, radical intentions for the world, that you want to keep the well-being of the world foremost in your mind while you're busy revolutionizing it? I don't know. This is intriguing. What do you think, Linda?
Well, I have a lot of radical ideas, and most of them, manifest in my work life, and that's all about, as we say, saving the world one kid at a time. It's not the most efficient way to do it, but
Saving the world one person at a time is a Virgo quality. It's not a Libra quality.
well, that's Venus and Virgo in the 10th house.
Yeah, that's right. Libra is teaching everybody to think, teaching you to think broadly, teaching you to use your mind.
Well, that's how you
what-
save people.
That's the beautiful thing of Libras, yes. So we see why in his past life, we don't even care. Why? Where did this come from? This is where it all came from. You've had a history of many lifetimes of carrying the weight of the world on your shoulder, but you're trying to balance it out with all the radical liberating things that you want to do. So what did you do to yourself when you constructed a new life in the 50s? You come in and you take a birth chart where you put, talk about a Libra, talk about sitting on the fence. You put Venus and Mars right on the fence. We're going to sit right on that fence. You put one leg here, put one leg there. I mean, it's beautiful. This is real conservative. This is blow it out. This is hold back. This is let it loose. So they're both where you want them to be. Okay. It's kind of intriguing. But we see in this natal chart, you took this lifetime, forget that. You took this lifetime to blow it out with Uranus in the 8th house. That's why you took to astrology. It's why you take the things that are way beyond literature, even though you're a professor. The moon at Scorpio makes real good sense. So, what do you think about the interplay between those two?
Meaning the moon and Uranus?
No, between the two different charts.
Oh,
Between the way it was and the way it is.
well, this is going to sound crazy, but I actually have like a emotional attachment to my birth chart. And sometimes when I think, when I'm playing around writing fiction and I try to think what sun sign characters would be, sometimes it's hard for me. I feel sorry for them if they don't have a chart like this.
Yeah.
I can't explain it. It's like there wasn't anything there that I would change.
Well, that's really good because a lot of people I know that have the sun between Saturn and Neptune really wish to God they didn't.
Oh, actually, if I had to say what my favorite planet is, I'd say Saturn.
Uh-huh.
And we've talked before about that Saturn Neptune thing. And maybe it's a lot like that Venus and Mars along the midheaven, is that when you've got those energies on either side of something, it's sort of a balance in a way.
Right.
You have both things. You're not one thing or the other. And
Right.
one thing, if you get a little over on this side, you can kind of go over on this side.
And you cannot stop a Libra from doing that. It's exactly what they do. That's what the scales are about. Part of them are about balancing, counterbalancing. That makes total sense. And if you make another lifetime as another sun sign, you won't feel that need for the balancing like you have here. Oh, Lillian the Taurus. If she's a Taurus, she just wants to eat and lay in mom's lap. That would be that. Okay, so very good, Linda. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think you guys got 3 good examples. I've already shared this extensively with Claudia. She's seen it. She sees how powerful the 12th harmonic is. So once again, what I have found after doing this kind of work, you get to a lot of it. And there are a lot of 12th harmonics. I just closed the book. I tell Liza I can't read it. I don't know. Let it go. Don't require yourself to know all this stuff. Susan, if you can't draw a giraffe, then draw a pig. You get my point. So, but I think you can see, even though you don't have the experience, that the 12th harmonic shows us historically what you've been like. And when you start playing with it, with the idea of this is what I think God thinks of me. I'm afraid to show my face because he thinks this of me. I've been arguing with the people, you know how well that goes, arguing on Facebook. That works real well. I've been arguing with these people that keep telling me what God's going to judge them as. And I tell them, how do you know he's going to judge you on anything? Because the book told me so. Okay, never mind that argument. But what I have found in my heart and in my research, and I really feel that I have come full circle now with astrology. I just feel that I have. I'm not quite done with it. I can't seem to let go. I'm still reading charts. You would love to see the 3rd and 5th sometimes. Susan, we can do that sometimes, certainly. The 5th is very exciting. The 5th is really exciting when I look at people like Andy Warhol's chart and Neil Young's chart. I mean, Dylan's chart, these 5th harmonics just blow your mind. And the transits are coming to the 5th harmonic when they release these double albums with all their great songs. And I'm saying to myself, ain't anybody listening? Look at the stuff, it's there. So hopefully these videotapes will be played in the year 3030. They'll be played in the year 3030. Look at this old guy sitting by the ocean here talking this stuff. Honest to God. Kathy Pagano, are these harmonic charts? Yeah, Astro is the same charts they produce, yes. Let's take a moment to talk to the brilliant Kathy Pagano about what I have the highest respect for your mind in so many ways, but what are your thoughts as an astrologer from Rhode Island? What are your thoughts of what you saw tonight with the 12th and counterplayed with the 1st?
I think it's fascinating. I love what you did. I don't feel like an astrologer compared to you in terms of you do the research. I use it more as with my psychological practice.
It all works. Yeah, it all works.
But it still works.
You
But
and I could sit down for hours with just your 12th harmonic and your transits.
Yeah. I think I'm trying to remember. I think we did it once and I think it was like at least what I have a lot of 12th house stuff in my natal chart. But what I came up with was, the suffering servant. There was something about Pluto, Neptune, and something else in the 12th house of the harmonic church. And we laughed about it. And he went, you have to be the suffering servant. Okay. Opposite Uranus and the moon or something in my chart.
The 12th harmonic really shows you these archetypes of you that are so special that you didn't get them from mom and dad. You didn't get them from your sun sign. They come out of this weird chart. And it really, I don't know what the hell went on in our past lives. I mean, it's just so peculiar. But all I know is you just got to keep working at it.
But don't you think we also choose our path? We look at our past lives, and don't you think some of us, that we came in to help the rest of the people in humanity?
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt.
We're screwed up.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I totally agree with you that the God force is angry at us or anything like that.
I didn't say the God force was. I said a lot of us are afraid of that.
Oh, yeah. Okay. But I don't know if that's exactly how I would say it. I would say it's more of a choice of how we want to express the God force, maybe. I don't know. I'd have to
I think that makes sense. Sure.
Do you know?
That makes a lot of sense.
About it more, but I love it. it was very fascinating.
How
And
does it fit with your Jungian research?
well, I have to think more about it, but I mean, once again, on a soul level, it says to me, these are the reasons why we're incarnating this lifetime. And we distilled it down to a certain, it's almost like we distill it to fit into this point in history. Do you know what I mean? We take all of the beauty and the power and the knowledge that we've had from past lives and the points that we need to keep working on, and we distill it into a new essence that where we can work it better.
Well, let me stop you right there and thank you very much. I want to just mention to people, you can go to astro.com for free. If you don't have Solar Fire software or some such software, you can go to astro.com for free, become a member there, it's free, and you can store your birth chart, store your progressions, and it will do your harmonics for you if you want to get a printout. So I suggest you all get a copy of your 12th harmonic, compare it with your natal chart, and spend a lot of time just looking back and forth. Don't require too much of yourself. Just look back and forth with amusement and say, man, these two are related somehow. Where's the secret? You know? And then start looking like we did tonight with Marcia and John. Start looking at transits. When transiting bodies went over those particular bodies in the 12th harmonic, especially planets that we saw in the 12th harmonic, they were a big part of the story. When those things get hit, things come to life. Anyhow, I'm about shot for the evening. After that, I'm gonna go down to Victor. John Addy, I don't know what it is. It's Addey. John
Right.
Addy, and I do not recommend you read it. It's called Harmonics. I
Okay.
don't recommend you read it because it's really old-fashioned, old type of sentence structure. I didn't find it that informative. Anyhow, look at your harmonics, see what you can do with it, because I'm going to be showing you them all the time. Everybody go forth and multiply.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you, Rick.
Thank you. What a great
Go,
talk.
John, Uncle John, go forth and multiply, everybody.
Thank you.
Or you could do division if you want,
Or take a shower.
or take a shower. Good luck, Eric. I hope it cools off, honey. I'll see you all next week.
Bye.
Take
Good night,
care.
everyone. Thanks, Rick.
John,
Bye-bye.
Yeah, I was around a little
bye
bit.
bye. I saw your name come up.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Thanks, Rick.